Okay, so we are going to do a quick lesson on two-step equations today because we're starting Unit 2 on Monday, which is all about solving equations. A couple of things that you should remember. We talked about variable yesterday. A variable is the letter in the equation that represents some unknown value. So if it's a changing value, if it's something you need to solve for, we throw a letter in its place, kind of like a placeholder, to figure out what that value is. To find the variable, we use inverse operations to kind of undo the math and get it all by itself. An inverse operation is just the math operation, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, that are opposite of one another and will help undo that math. So addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Multiplication and division are inverse operations. So tips and tricks for solving two-step equations. You are going to start by, reviewing the equation. Make a mental note of any addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division you see. So generally just looking at what is the equation. Okay, you are going to undo any addition or subtraction first. Okay, the variable is what you are trying to get by itself, but you have to touch that last. So if there is any addition or subtraction, you get rid of that number by using the inverse operation. You're then going to rewrite what is left as a one-step equation to stay organized. A lot of us like to skip that step, and then we lose track of our equation. Okay, once you have that one-step equation left after undoing addition or subtraction, then you can start undoing any multiplication. I am not writing small enough. Or division by using those inverse operations. Division in an equation will often look like a fraction. So you can see that right here. A over -3 can also be read as A divided by -3. Okay. On your paper, I also wrote your rules down for addition and subtraction. Here's your multiplication and division tic-tac-toe board. Please remember that if you are adding or subtracting, use those arrows. Same sign, you combine, add them up, keep the sign. If they're different signs, you subtract, and you keep that bigger sign in your answer. So let's try the first example. I'm going to draw my line down the middle. First step is to read the equation. So you have 2x plus 10 equals 14. I see multiplication with that coefficient and variable. I see addition. I'm going to undo that addition first. So if I'm adding, the inverse operation will be subtracting. So I'm going to take 10 away from both sides. Those cancel out. 14 minus 10 is 4. And I'm going to bring down whatever I have left from my original equation and rewrite it as now a one-step equation. Now my equation is 2 times x equals 4. Remember, your coefficient is what you multiply that variable by. So this is a multiplication problem. To undo multiplication, we just need to use the inverse operation, division. So I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. Those cancel out to one singular x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my solution is x equals 2. And we could plug it back into the equation if we wanted to check. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 10 would be 14. So my answer is good. Okay. On this next one here, you have, if we read it correctly, a divided by, you might want to make a note that that's a division bar. You can see it kind of looks like the division sign. You got something on top, a line, something on bottom. So this is a divided by -3. Woo, I got negatives. -7 equals 3. So I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I notice I have division. I notice I have subtraction. So I'm going to get rid of that subtraction first. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So since I'm subtracting here, I'm going to add 7 to both sides to cancel these guys out. 3 plus 7 is 10. I'm going to bring down everything that I still have from my original equation and rewrite it. A divided by -3. So now I have a one-step equation. A divided by -3 equals 10. To get rid of division, I have my variable a. I'm dividing it by -3 right now. So to get rid of division, I need to use multiplication. I don't want it to be -a. So when I multiply, I need to make sure I'm multiplying by a -3 so I can get rid of both the negative and the 3. So I'm going to multiply this side by -3 to cancel them out. I'm going to multiply this side by -3, which leaves me with just a singular a. 10 times 3 is 30. A positive times a negative is negative. So a equals -30. If I wanted to plug it back in and check, -30 divided by -3, 30 divided by 3 is 10. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this would be 10 minus 7 is 3. It checks out. We're good. You're going to spend the rest of the class period doing two things. Number one, you're going to practice with these two-step equations. It's the next page in your packet. It has literal check marks, like do this first, do that second. So as you do those steps, I want you to make sure, are you undoing addition and subtraction first, then multiplying and dividing? Adding and subtracting first, multiplying and dividing. Adding and subtracting first, then multiplying and dividing. So this will really make it simple, walk you through step by step. Then there is a short exit ticket on the back that I need you to turn in by the end of class. It's got 4 examples for you to do. And at the very bottom, tell me how well you feel like you understand solving two-step equations in our little smiley faces down here. Okay. If you need help, please ask me. I'm going to be mainly doing field trip stuff, but I'm more than welcome, or I'm more than happy to assist if needed. Okay. Good luck.